This is our fucking city.
Yeah.
And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change.
We are live. Our Bleepin City, episode 5. Welcome, everybody. So glad you could join us today. We have a lot going on. A lot going on here. Here, I'll move this.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll move this. We got a lot going on today. Thank you for everyone that's joined in on YouTube today. I already see the comments, the chats are coming in. My main
Look
man,
who's the first one.
my man, Taryn Rodriguez, who has been putting out some work. Have you seen his Instagram?
Lately?
He is cranking out the volleyball interviews.
I saw some stuff
like
posted recently,
yeah,
but
it's been amazing.
that's
like,
awesome.
Credit to you, Taryn, for joining in. So glad you're here.
We're gonna have some BC stuff coming your way soon.
Yes.
Although not
Well,
all
I've been
volleyball.
putting out, as you could see.
Yes.
As you can see this week, I put out some stuff that I did last year. So now I am finally getting to some content that people have
that
been
you've been sitting on,
eagerly waiting on. If you
Mhm.
haven't seen, go check out my interview with the Bandits, the junior hockey team from Bridgewater.
They're awesome.
They gave a fantastic interview. Excuse me here. But so, anyways, if you're on the chat, don't be shy. Say hi.
That's how we'll know you're here.
We will show your comments on air, just like this from my man Taryn. But yeah, so there's a lot of sports news going on today. I know you wanted to.
We got to start with the Bruins.
You
It's
wanted
the
to
only.
start with
It's the only thing we can do.
the team that is now celebrating one of the greatest teams ever tonight at the game. Actually, I'll try to have it up on the corner of the screen so you can. Yeah, I know you want to keep up with it, but the Bruins what are they doing down at the Garden tonight?
Well, so the Bruins are honoring the 2011 Stanley Cup team, and as it should be, Z came in with the trophy. They rode in on duck boats. And the gang's all there. I mean, I've seen Tuke, I saw Krejci, I saw I know Berge is there, Chara, obviously.
I saw a lot of people on Twitter taking pictures.
Claude Julien
taking pictures
with Krejci. Krejci was like out front. Yeah.
So that was really cool.
And if the Bruins can't use today as the momentum to turn the season back around to where it was at the beginning of the year, I don't know what else.
Hold on though, like the sky is not falling.
No, but I'm
they lost
saying
a few, and they every team's gonna go through a struggle.
Yes, but you missed my point.
Big shout out to a big hockey man himself, who has his own fantastic hockey show on IE Sports Radio, the show, the network that I started on. My man Adam Karnick in the house. Applause. But yeah, Adam, if it wasn't for his team, there'd be a 2013 championship Stanley Cup reunion tonight at the Garden. But we all know how that one ended in a heartbreak. All these playoff losses happened in like the final minutes. Like last year, 7th game, 2013. Yeah, we were winning, and the freaking Blackhawks scored 2 goals in the last minute. I won't even go there.
I was gonna say 2019 was the only one where I feel like the game 7, it wasn't last minute.
Yeah,
that was just bad.
That was even worse.
That was actually
a blowout from the start.
Exactly.
So big shout out to I love that. I love
our
that.
Lakers.
We got the chat. The chat room is live.
Our
today.
Local Lakers resident.
So yeah, and yes, we do want to have a nice night down at the Guard tonight to get the stink out of that loss to Edmonton on Tuesday, which we're winning the whole way. They let them tie it up with like a minute left and then lose it in overtime.
Yes. But you missed my point though. I wasn't.
And one more shout out, real quick, to my man Nathaniel. He's our, I'll say this, no one kill me, but he's our favorite Laker fan right there. Good dude.
I literally said that already.
And I hope he tunes into on the PSF app tonight. We'll be doing the game.
Yes.
But back to the stuff on the Bruins.
So you missed my point. I wasn't saying that the sky is falling. I'm saying that if this is not momentum to like shift things back to how they had been playing at the beginning of the season, then I don't know what else could possibly be. Because you've got this like, like aura of greatness around you in every possible way. And then seeing like bringing the Stanley Cup trophy in and like getting to see it I just don't know what else could be more motivating than having the crowd getting to relive that awesome year and having all of these just such important pieces of Bruins history present because really statistically, and I'm not saying,
let me just say this much though, let me just interject here. Coming off of last year, that incredible season, the record for most points in the year. And then losing a lot of key free agents, Taylor Hall, glue guys like Foligno.
Bergie retired. That's a huge
retired, and Krejci retired. No one expected the Bruins to come out the way out of the gate, the way that they did. They came out like gangbangers and just on top. They've been on top of the standings the whole way. So you had to expect at some point that would catch up to them, and they would dip a little. And look, I'm sure 99% of the teams would trade places with us to be in second place, just barely in second place. So, yes, I agree. Yes, the 2011 Stanley Cup team being here tonight should motivate them, but they've been pretty motivated all year. They're having a great season.
They're having a great season, but really, if you look at the statistics, they've been about 500 for the second part of the season, since they start. That's okay. You're not going to make the playoffs as a 500 team. What's carrying them
for the whole year,
but what's carrying them right now is the fact that they came out so hot. And if they can't get back some of that momentum, then we're a 500 team that's barely making a playoff spot.
Well, we saw what happened with the team that barely made the playoffs last year, the Florida Panthers, and they went all the way to the finals.
Not the point.
like the regular season is a little bit overrated in the hockey. Yes. Do I want to see them start winning again? Of course.
They have to have that momentum going into the playoffs because you have to peak at the right time. If you peak early, then it's not going to help.
What happened last year? We peaked the whole year. What happened in the playoffs?
Right. But the Panthers peaked at the right time and also had some help from other situations, but that's a whole other thing.
Yes.
But
everyone's freaking out about the Bruins. I'm not
freaking out. I'm saying though that you can't say statistically that they're fine and they can just keep riding how they're playing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they were so extremely good at the beginning of the year. And now they've been here. They've been average.
Well,
and if they stay average the rest of the way, then they're creeping into the playoffs and they're not going to be in good shape. Well, they don't have to play here.
I get that.
But they have to.
Okay, we got to play better. I get it. So okay, the trade deadline is coming up.
Yes, and they've done nothing.
They have not done anything yet, but they have been very active in all the years, most of the years past.
Yes.
So I do expect them to make a move. I haven't heard any real rumors of players that they.
I haven't heard anything real.
And actually, my man Adam Karnick is his hockey show probably has all the latest hockey rumors. If Adam does have any good hockey rumors that he's heard, please do send it over because
I haven't had anything.
No, I know there was a few trades. I think the Rangers got, maybe was it the Rangers? Someone got a guy from the Kraken.
I'm not sure. I just know that nothing that's been rumored for the Bruins has had any there hasn't been anything of substance out there. But the point is, amazing ceremony. Bruins did it to perfection. And I love that it seems like the players were also really accessible with the fans. I mean, there were like you said, lots of players taking pictures. Krejci was literally standing out front of the garden, over where the Bobby Orr
everyone
statue
just walks in,
where literally for those of you that haven't been to the garden, you walk in right by the the Bobby Orr statue. That's I mean, it's an actual like meeting point that people will use as a reference. Like, oh, we'll meet at the Bobby Orr statue, literally where he has been.
Yeah.
Tons of photos, around there, which was really cool.
And this, he's right, because it seemed like all the trades were happening before.
Yeah.
And now it's nothing. So yes. Okay. So I'm not the only one just hearing crickets. Okay. So, all right. That's good. If anyone knows, tune into hockey. Adam is our guy. Adam, if you want to throw up the name of the show, I'll even put it up here too, to give you some love, because it's a great hockey show. And it's got a great Boston tribute in the intro with the wicked wristers. So, all right. So moving along. Celtics.
Yes.
Been playing great.
Yes.
Been playing great.
Yes.
We tonight's going to be a huge matchup.
Tonight is potentially a finals preview.
Yes.
I mean, it's really, sorry, Nathaniel, but it is really a possible finals preview.
Yeah. Celtics Denver. We will be live streaming it on the PSF Pro Sports Fan app if you want to just watch it with us and chime in. It's another fun thing to do if you want to stay up late if you're on the East Coast. If you're in Nathaniel's West Coast, we expect to see you. But yeah, that should be a big one. Celtics had their 11-game
win streak
snapped.
Yes. They got their 13th loss of the season.
Was I mean, you're going to expect them to lose.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
Oh yeah.
The way it happened though was
the part that was a little bit disheartening.
Yeah.
I love what KP said. He came out after and he basically said, look, we needed it. Like, we needed to lose. We were getting this, like, we were starting to feel too invincible. And I think that's valid.
Well, he was putting a nice spin on it. No one needs to lose. Like, they want to keep winning, obviously.
Of course, but
KP is the ultimate team dude, and he's the ultimate, like, level-headed, just perfect guy for that locker room. And that was well said. I'm glad that he said it like that.
Absolutely.
The way they lost, though. Okay, I mean, let's just say we don't want to see that again.
Oh, of course not. No,
they were up 22 in the fourth.
Yep. With like 9 minutes
midway
left.
through the fourth. Yes.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing.
Yes, by 1 point.
I won't get into the refs because they did screw them.
Well,
at the end.
they did, but like also, and this is an old Belichick mantra: you never want to get into a position where you allow the refs to take control of the game. And listen, if they had not blown a 22-point lead, if they had tightened up on D sooner, if there had maybe been a timeout, if they had regrouped, if they had gotten their head back into it, if they had been able to pull it back after it was closed within 10 or something along those lines, then it wouldn't have come down to a stupid call at the end of the game.
Let me, if you want to reference Belichick, let me say this then. Hey, referees, do your job.
I mean, listen. Well, and also, I mean, it also just so happened that
who is it?
Who did we play? Why am I blanking? Clippers?
The Cavs?
Cavs. It just so happened that the Cavs had a challenge left and everything. So, if the foul had stood and had not been challenged, then, also looking at a different scenario. So
gonna move this away from your hands.
As my Italian hands go.
Yeah, you're like the court, just boom, boom, boom with your points.
I have a lot of points I want to make,
Yes.
Drive them home.
Yes.
But yeah, but today is a big game. It's a huge, I think that more important from the game the other day isn't to harp on the loss or panic about it. It's to show how we rebound. We're regroup, learn from it, move forward. And, use that as momentum to carry on, for today, especially, I don't know. I have not heard yet if there's a decision on JB.
What do you mean?
He's questionable for the game
tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got I'm actually going to pull it up in a second, because also Richard White referenced some key points that I wanted to be able to pull up.
Okay.
but JB's got like a weird sounding, painful sounding possibly thing
Wait.
with his like lower back.
Really? Jalen Brown does?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know enough. I'm not a doctor. I don't know like how like legit serious it is, but it sounded painful. And I'd rather have them rest him if necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. This the right now, the rest of the season is about
we need them to be healthy.
It's about staying healthy because I mean, look, we have a huge lead. I don't think anyone's going to catch us. Well, I'm going to say I say that I'm saying that very confidently without worry of the jinx.
7.5 game lead right now.
So it looks like see, there's the Bruins. We do have the Bruins.
They just scored.
No. That's they're showing me honor. They're honoring that team right now. Or they were showing a clip of it. But see, look, there you go.
My man.
So actually, look what Chara said. Something we built together. We held each other accountable. We loved each other. We played hard, practiced hard. I mean, those are things that was made that team so successful. Should hopefully carry on to this team.
100%.
So while you read up on JB's latest
just looking to see
injury,
if there's any updates.
And the Bruins are up 1-0, which is good to see, against Toronto, who they just played. It's another one of those weird back-to-backs.
Yes. Toronto also stayed in the locker room for the ceremony, which I mean, to each their own. Like I don't know how I would feel. If but I feel like I don't know, come out, watch.
Yeah, that is a little
just saying.
Disrespectful, but all right. So Celtics tonight.
Yes.
The JB news.
Yes.
All right.
Wait, give me a second and I'll pull up the.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. If people want to find, we know he's questionable.
No, but I understand that. I wanted to pull up the Richard White thing.
Okay. So, but that's fine. We don't need to get into that right now. So, because I'm going to the next point. People don't need to see you scrolling on your phone for this Bleepin episode. No, seriously, we don't. So, all right. Well, I'm going to get into the next topic.
Okay, so I've got it. So, so I thought that it was interesting. So those of you who don't know, Derek White's dad, Richard White, big fan, big presence on Twitter. I love it. Like he's always commenting throughout the game, talking about, what he thinks they need to do, to shift momentum and so on and so forth. So hours ago, he commented on the keys of the game. He said, get a good shot, every time down, limit the turnovers, stay connected defensively, everybody on the floor, mix up coverages on the 2-man game, rebound and run in transition, and handle adversity in a charged atmosphere.
Nice. Yeah, no, he's great. He tweets out every game.
And paying attention to the lineups in the non-Jokic minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought that those were,
Those are always great points, Richard White. I hope he responds to me. I put I tweeted him a few times. I interviewed Derek White. Hey, big shout out to the Sports Talk Network joining in on the fun. So glad to have you here. But yeah, getting back to the to what the next point that I was getting into, and I put it in the teaser. The Red Sox season, we already knew it was gonna be a long shot for even contending for a wild card spot. It feels now with the injury news like the season's over before it even started. And I
don't know why it doesn't feel any different to me than it felt 2 weeks ago.
For those of
I had no hope 2 weeks ago.
For the diehard Red Sox fans,
I am a diehard Red Sox fan. I still had no hope 2 weeks ago.
Like for example, Melissa's show. For those people, who I still see are buying tickets and excited about it. The news of Giolito most likely missing the season now.
Yep.
Who is our biggest sign of the offseason is just it's devastating news. And my man Steve is in the building. He's got all types of great talk shows. Brew Crew is his team. He's a big Bucks fan. Army vet big shout out to you, my friend. But yes, the baseball season will be a fun one for everyone but the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm a diehard baseball fan, so I'm gonna try to watch the team, but it's heartbreaking to see all the talent that has been just scattered around the league that we had, whether it's Mookie Betts, Schwarber. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I might get depressed if I keep going down the list. But what are your thoughts? You look.
No, I mean this is what there's nothing new. Nothing. This is yes, the injuries are new, but like, are we surprised? The Red Sox weren't prepared for any of this.
That did surprise me. They just signed the guy, and you don't expect someone you just signed to the big contract and
right, but we needed three starters and they signed one.
I get
like
that. But he was supposed to be like the one watchable like pitcher that you kind of, you know how you always have that ace that you want to set aside that day to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to be that guy for us.
Well, with Bayo and Pavetta,
and now he's gone. You know, and Bayo's still young. He's they just finalized his contract extension. So he is locked in for the next 6 years. But no, I don't know. Like, to me, this is par for the course. Like, they were not prepared for any sort of circumstance where any single player got injured. Yeah. So, like, this doesn't change anything. Well, the frustrating part is they didn't even sign the second tier free agents,
right?
Or even retain guys like Turner,
right? They didn't do anything.
And I mean, there's just a handful of list of guys that they could have had, and there are still some guys out there that they could have.
But no one's going to want to come.
They're not. Well, let me say Trevor Bauer, for example.
I know this is such a controversial topic, and I have such mixed emotions about this.
I would take him in a heartbeat.
Here's the thing.
In a heartbeat.
Here's the thing. I know that there is a lot more that we all don't know about what happened behind the scenes in Trevor Bauer's life. And I'm not going to sit here and preach about what he didn't do. I don't know. I wasn't there. I know nothing. But what I will say is, if the man actually wanted a shot to come back to the majors, then he needed to suck it up, put his tail between his legs, show some remorse, show some gratitude, and maybe teams would give him a chance.
Well, I think he has done that though. He has come on Twitter and said, "Hey," because
he came on Twitter and said, "I've been vindicated."
No. I'm not talking about that. Just the fact that he's come on and said, "Hey, Major League Baseball teams, I'm willing to take minimum salary." Mm-hmm. Okay, and he was signed to like over $200 million contract.
I know
that right there. Okay,
those are words on a screen.
I mean, but really, like, do you really want some, agent written apology?
No, I want him to put out a verbal, like.
Yeah, but like, look at it from his point, like it, if he believes he did nothing wrong, which he has shown some evidence that he was blackballed, why would you apologize for that?
I understand, but there's also lots that we don't know, and there's lots of layers, and again, like, I don't want to like get into the like what happened or didn't happen, because we just don't know.
Yeah.
But it does seem like there's stuff that were false accusations. There may also be some stuff that was verified. And so my point is, he can do what he did on Twitter verbally and make it a little more genuine.
Yeah.
And maybe reach out to, I mean, I don't know. I have very mixed emotions about it. If they
you have mixed emotions that you had me chime in yesterday.
Gonna say, if they
to back you up to sign him because you wanted him signed.
Right. Like, listen. I'm not backing off that.
Yeah.
If they signed him for the league minimum, fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. throw him on AAA, let him like earn his spot back.
Yeah.
You know, like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
I got you. There's question marks, and you want him to at least show some contrition. I get that.
I get that. Do a little more to like.
I get that. So, and now to Adam's point, because we don't need. I really don't want to get into the Trevor Bauer situation. Right. I don't know it. We don't know it. There's been nothing proven. I don't like. I can't stand people that hold their court decisions on Twitter and just make someone guilty or not. I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
But my man Adam says, yes, it sucks when your top free agent pitcher needs Tommy John before even throwing in the regular season.
100%.
And I mean,
100%.
It is so just demoralizing for not only the fans, but I'm sure the players too.
Right.
Like guys like, Kenley Jansen.
Oh, Kenley is so frustrated.
Came here
with the promise that we were going to win.
Promise that we're going to go for it, at least in his second year.
Yeah.
And he's a vet. He doesn't have.
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't have a ton of years, years left. And he's a guy that I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love. He came into Boston,
his personality,
and he embraced what Fenway is, what the fans do here.
Yep.
And he was saying how great the fans are, how they give him an extra, extra umph.
Yep.
And we saw it last year where he had just a great, just for him, a throwback year where he was just so reliable.
Oh, yeah.
And to see the Sox almost wasting players like that.
Almost wasting. I mean, they are wasting.
They are.
I mean,
just is so it's so disheartening and so really upsetting for the fans.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, listen, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I saw any way where we were anything but last or maybe fourth.
I'll tell you, do we sign any of the big free agents?
No, I know, but I'm saying like let me finish my point.
Okay.
I didn't see a situation where we were anything but last, maybe fourth, but like nothing beyond that. But yes, I mean, to first get the Grissom news, then find out about Giolito.
What's the Grissom news?
I forget what his injury is, but it was earlier this week. I want to say it was like a groin strain or something. I forget, but like,
and he was the prize of the Chris Sale trade.
Exactly. So we have that number one now. So that was already, and I think they said not ready for opening day. Now we know Giolito's out probably for the season. Trevor Story again got scratched today because of like a neck strain.
He's been a disaster.
So yes, I mean, to your other point, like, even though I didn't see this season being anything but a dumpster fire, based on what we've not done, literally, yes, this is even more disheartening. I really, really, really just don't understand. You've got a guy like Justin Turner, and and if anybody hasn't checked out Mikey's videos with Justin Turner from the Turner Trot last season, they just, not only are they great and they're fun, but like they show you who JT is. And this man, in months of being here, was embraced by Boston.
Awesome. Our Bleepin City, we were down at his Turner Trot last year.
Right.
It's on the YouTube. We got some great footage. Great footage.
But he, Boston doesn't embrace every single player that comes here. They don't.
No.
But when a guy puts it all out on the field and shows love to the city, the city shows it right back. And JT, from the minute he got here, embraced Boston, and Boston loved him right back. And he would have signed a 1-year deal for like $10 million. And I just will never understand how at any point the Red Sox looked and said, you bring leadership on the field, you bring leadership off the field. Fans love you. You're a voice of reason. You're a calming presence. You're a motivator. And you do a ton for the community. Nah, we don't want you here. Like make it make sense. Nah. We don't need that.
You're not getting arrested. You're not getting suspension.
We don't need that.
You're not doing all this. You're doing all the right things. See ya.
Yeah.
And you're a value. You're not a big contract. nah, we don't need you, yeah.
And we don't actually have a person to replace you either,
right,
you know?
Right.
And
he was so good for us too. He was carrying us. Like
he was so good.
Like last year, he was shockingly just kind of like
he was
one of the biggest bats.
Oh my gosh,
year. It was unbelievable.
And the thing is too, like, he wanted to be here. He was vocal in, even with all the crap, even with we're getting rid of these guys, we're not putting money into the team, all of that. He's like, I want to stay in Boston. I love it here. And like, tell me what part of everything that JT represents made Red Sox management say, nah, not worth it. Like, really?
Apparently they want to tank. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. It makes zero sense to me. And
to that point, it's not like coming in last in baseball has the same impact that if you tank, so to speak, in football or basketball,
like NBA.
Like when you get the number one NFL draft pick or the number one NBA draft pick, you can get literally a franchise player. Like the Spurs got Wemby. Like Wemby couldn't be in a better spot for himself. And
no, it's so true because half the guys that they draft in baseball are high school guys, and they may go number one. And there's been countless examples of guys going number one that never even touched the majors. Exactly, they just flame out. They don't have it. So yes, you're right. Tanking in baseball,
it doesn't do anything.
I mean, yes. There have been some great players that have gone,
Alex Rodriguez, or whoever,
Ken Griffey Jr. Some of there are surefire guys, but in baseball, it's much more of a crapshoot.
Exactly.
I mean, you even look at the Red Sox, like top pick from a few years ago, Marcelo Mayo, and he's
still injured.
He's struggling. He's struggling.
He's not struggling. He's injured.
Well, he's been injured, but his numbers were.
But it's also kind of like, but it also doesn't matter because the guy's like 19 and like, we don't need him or we're not supposed to need him right now.
Oh, we could definitely need him.
No, but I'm saying like unlike in basketball or in football, like unless you have some random weird high pick because of a weird trade or like something that happened to catapult you into a top spot that you didn't like earn, really, you're talking about, a team that needs the position they're drafting. And, so using Wemby as the example, Wemby, obviously stepped right in, started slow for the Spurs because he's a rookie, but even between. But
he's shown flashes.
Exactly.
Doing things that no one else could ever do. And he's going to be
amazing.
He gets some muscle. You put a little muscle on that frame. Yeah.
I mean, his name's being thrown around as defensive player of the year, not in real talk, but people are mentioning it. And I think down the road, he will probably be in those conversations, but people will dismiss Derek White or Drew or those guys, and they'll be, no, they don't deserve it. But you've got Wemby, in the talks already. He's
a freak of nature, and people like to see stuff like that.
Of course. But my point being, though, you get players that are impact players right away.
Yeah.
In a way that you don't in baseball.
Yeah.
And so what are the Red Sox doing?
Yeah, it's really depressing. I mean, there's no way around it. They're all about making money. They have not even tried to fake trying for the fans.
Nope.
And they've done nothing. And we've now see the truth that Chaim Bloom
was a fall guy.
Is just a puppet for John Henry because Craig Breslow is now
the puppet
doing exactly the same thing as Chaim Bloom.
100%.
And to be honest, Chaim Bloom was a little more upbeat about it. Craig Breslow, we're not even hearing from. So,
Breslow, I think the few times that he has spoken has been a little bit more direct about the fact that we're not doing stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not necessary.
But at least Chaim Bloom was giving us hope. I don't know, but maybe I don't know what's worse. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, anyways, moving on. The Patriots. We have and you laugh.
Well, because you're just boom, boom, boom. We're moving on.
Well. I mean, it's the hour show goes quick.
I understand.
It goes quick, and anyone that knows you knows how passionate you can get on topics. So I want to get your full opinion on each team. So that's why today I think we've done a good job of covering all 4 teams, because now
for sure
we've now gotten to this the segment of, because I still want to talk about one other thing too, but we've now gotten to the 4th team and we still got 25 minutes to spare. So anyways, I want to thank everyone who is on the stream. It's so great to have the chat live. Now back to the Pats.
Yes.
So recently, Kyle Duggar got transition tagged.
Yes.
It's been our biggest kind of like move. I know free agency hasn't officially started yet.
They signed 2 people today. Austin something.
Rivers?
No. And
no, he's basketball.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, that's Doc Rivers' kid.
Yeah.
And a guy from Pittsburgh.
Okay, so free agency has started. I don't know exactly where it's at, but
we're in some sort of area where we can still sign.
But people. This is a big. Obviously, it hasn't. Actually, no, I think it has started because I know Mike Evans re-signed with the Bucks.
Yes,
yeah, so,
I do know that.
So this is going to be a really pivotal off season for the Pats. First, number one being we have a shit ton of cap space to spend on.
Yes.
So any Pats fan that got tired of the way things were the past 20 seasons, aside from the Super Bowls are fantastic,
right?
But the finance part of it, where it would seem that they would always just search for the bargain basement free agents, and you had Tom Brady to make up for it and have his greatness. That ain't gonna work anymore. And as a Pats fan, I want to see them go out and just pay market value for some of the stars that are out there. Because as you saw last year, this team has a lot of holes.
Yes.
A lot of holes. And it will be, there's so many variables right now about, having the number 3 pick in the draft. In terms of, are we going to draft a quarterback at 3?
Yeah.
Or now are we going to do something like sign Russell Wilson and then draft a receiver or trade the pick? There's so many things going into it. Is there any direction that you would prefer to see the Pats go in this? For like the QB?
We need a quarterback. I mean, that's a given. Russell Wilson is not the solution.
Okay, so you're.
And I'm not knocking Russell Wilson, but what we need is our future quarterback with a veteran presence with him.
Yeah.
So that's not Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is not coming to a team to sit on the bench.
Well,
and
no, but so, he could start while we draft a young QB and mentor that QB.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if the goal is to do exactly that, Russell Wilson is not going to sign knowing that the hope is, but halfway through the season, we've got our rookie playing.
Yeah.
That's not going to be that's not his trajectory. He sees himself as a franchise, like, elite quarterback.
Well, he's been humbled a little bit by the Denver situation.
Listen,
you don't know that. You don't know that.
Oh no, he still does.
And yes, I'm sure he does have that ego. He wants to start. He wants to contend.
Right. He's not going somewhere where he knows that he's not.
There's not a ton of options for him too. So at some point, these quarterbacks that are now kind of on the downside have to take a little humble pie and maybe make some concessions. To my man Adam's point, where he says, do you think they go QB at number 3?
I think.
Let me bring up an interesting trade. Interesting trade that I've heard rumors about.
I'm listening.
And my man Adam can definitely chime in on this one. How about the Pats trading for Justin Fields, who the Bears seem like they have given up on, and it seems like the Bears, in all likeliness, are going to go with Caleb Williams, which is which is
what they should do.
The rumor
that's what that's going around. They should absolutely take Caleb Williams. I mean, that's whether or not Justin Fields ends up here or somewhere else, they should absolutely be drafting.
But if the price is right, I would absolutely.
I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing.
trade maybe a first next year, or a couple seconds, or I don't know what the asking price is,
right?
But I would absolutely bring in Justin Fields.
So here's where I struggle with this. Okay, that like back, when Mac and Justin Fields were in the draft, I love Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and I wanted him here.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about what went wrong in Chicago.
Yeah.
To know how I feel about what I'm willing to give up.
That's a good point. Adam, if you're listening, chime in. Why
he says name your price for Fields.
I am curious for my man Adam, who's seen every game of his career.
So like,
why are you guys so willing to give up on him? Because I'll admit my sample size of watching him is small.
Exactly.
But the one game he played against the Pats, he was unbelievable.
But like, and here's the thing, like, right, to counter that.
Yeah.
Mac had unbelievable games.
Yeah.
And then he had some shit shows.
No,
and we know, as Patriots fans, we know all the things that went wrong for Mac. Okay. 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years, inconsistent offense, no O-line, confidence depleting.
All playmakers injured.
Right. Confidence depleting season after season, play after play, media up his butt in a way that, like, he's a young kid. Like,
hey, and you got to follow in Tom Brady's footsteps.
Exactly.
No one situation right there.
Right. But, and I think everything went wrong that could have gone wrong. Domino effect. Do I think Mac is done for his career? No. Do I think that he is most likely done in New England? Yes. I think he needs a fresh start. I think he needs, a new outlet.
And I would say, Adam, name the price for Fields. I don't know, maybe like a second, or maybe a second and a third, something.
Okay,
like
let me ask
I'm not
you,
sure, though. I don't know
where you're willing to give up a second and third for Fields. What do you think we should be getting for Mac? Because they're in very similar situations.
I think Mac would get a fourth.
So why is Justin Fields worth a second and a third?
The potential. He is.
Mac has no potential?
Well, Fields has that element that I have been preaching. Seems like, unless you're Tom Brady, you need in the NFL, which is ability to scramble and make plays.
Yeah.
Because
he's a mobile quarterback.
You see all the successful teams now. And what do they have? They have a quarterback that can turn a broken play into a 20-yard game, because they can, dibbity-do a couple of the, the pass rushers, and boom, they're off for 20 yards.
Absolutely.
And then maybe if they get touched towards the sideline, there's another 15 yards tacked on.
Right.
So
and based on what AK said about Justin Fields, okay, so he's saying he struggled to grow as a passer is the easiest way to explain it. That's true for Mac too. So, like, really what I'm saying is, why are we giving up a second and a third if we're expecting only a fourth for Mac?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that's actually, like, I think we're giving up too much.
Yeah.
If
maybe you're right. Maybe he's worth a third round pick. I don't know.
But I think that Mac and Fields, yes, I hear what you're saying about the mobility. Mac is less mobile.
Yeah.
However, his rookie year, he was okay. When
he was.
And part, I think the biggest thing for Mac, like, take away all the other stuff, the confidence is gone.
Yeah.
Gone. And I don't know.
You don't know if you can ever get it back. Sometimes when it's gone,
sometimes it's in your head and it's gone. And I don't know if that's true for Fields, because I don't know how beaten alive
one thing I'll ask Adam, and I don't know if it was an issue. Fields is he's a shorter stature guy. Yeah. And I wonder if Adam, if you did you notice, did his height come into play? Not being that prototypical guy, 6'3", that can.
I want to know about his confidence.
But the confidence.
I care less about the height.
So Adam, give us an answer. Big shout out to my man, Gio made it. The T-shirt king right here.
He's got a new Marcus Smart T-shirt out.
Yep. Actually, I've been meaning to say to Gio, if you ever want me to market a shirt and wear it on the show, just send it over. I'll be happy to rock it with pride.
Did you wear the Derek White on the show a couple weeks ago?
I did.
I thought you did.
I did. But
Adam, you're not getting a 2 plus a 3. Like, Mike misspoke.
I don't know though. Like, what is the going rate for what is the going rate for him? I don't know what the Bears
that's
are
why
asking
I want to know
for.
the confidence
Like,
thing.
is there, you know, and you know what though? To be honest, that might be way too high if it's the Pats pick, because the Pats 2 is at the very top of the second round.
So, I'm not giving them any of that this year.
Maybe a third and a fourth. Maybe
not this year.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the
again, without knowing enough about what went wrong for Fields.
Yeah.
Without knowing where his confidence is at, without knowing like if he was put in because you got to remember, I mean, Chicago, first of all, like they're not easy on their teams either.
Yeah.
And like the media will be up Fields' butt if he's here, you know, like they're already on Mayo and he hasn't even had a chance to do anything right or wrong. You know, and
appreciate you, Gio. We will talk about that. Yes.
I think that like, so, you know, you've got poor Mac, you know, like bouncing all over the place. Like he had no chance to succeed with what they did here. Like they literally, I mean, you want to talk about their, you know, with the Dynasty documentary and everything out, you know, there's so much like who's to blame for this, who's to blame for that. There is very little that I am going to say Belichick is to blame for with the past 20 years.
Something
with the past 20 years. I will put the blame for Mac on Bill.
Okay.
That one I will. I will say he very much single-handedly could have ruined this young man's career.
We could go on forever about the things that he did that really just messed him up.
Right.
I didn't realize, Adam points out, Fields is 6'3". I thought he was smaller. I thought he was like 5'10". So I guess that's not as big of a problem.
Right.
But the processing thing is, you know, for a lot of QBs, either you have it or you don't. It's a thing, you know, Brady has. It's
oh my God, it's Brady had it like unlike anyone.
It's something a lot of times you can't quantify for college players because their skill just overshines kind of the mental aspect in college, which can't always get away with in the pros. That's you know, that could be a problem. So that second and the third just went to just the third.
I'm still not even giving a third. I was never giving the third.
I mean, Gio, yeah, exactly. It was the change. It was the change.
Yeah.
You got McDaniels, who's a fantastic coordinator. Forget about the coach. Fantastic coordinator.
Right.
Won Super Bowls with Brady. Brady loves him. Brady wanted him. He starts with that, and then you throw in a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator for the next year.
Yep.
He struggles.
Yep.
You then throw in Bill O'Brien, who was as an offensive coordinator.
And the rumors are that Bill Belichick was still controlling everything with Bill O'Brien. I don't know if that's true or not. Who knows? I think having Bill O'Brien at BC is going to be interesting because we're going to get to see a little bit of like when you have the ability to run the show yourself, like what does that actually look like? But yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, and
this is true. I mean, Fields, what excites me and why I have said like, yeah, I might want to trade for him is because of that potential.
Yeah.
And of just his natural abilities.
Sure.
You know, like what. And also, when was the last time the Patriots had a mobile quarterback that could do things like, you know, Fields does that?
You mean Malik Cunningham? We had him. We cut him. He's in Baltimore.
Okay. Yes. I mean, that's a great point. Like maybe
we had him.
But maybe that was just Belichick not wanting change or like we've heard in some of the dynasty stuff, just trying to stick it to Kraft by leaving in Mac. Who knows? But yes, the potential is kind of what makes you salivate and makes you, you know, still want to give a player like that a chance and give something up for a player.
I think like here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still maintaining I don't know enough about everything with Fields to make like an educated statement about whether or not I want him.
Yeah.
I think conceptually I would like him. But it really is going to matter on so many other variables, including like who are our receivers, who's our O-line, like you know, all of that.
Kendrick Bourne, he wants to come back.
Yes, but we have a chance. We have a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now,
this is a huge. I mean, and
this is a big.
This
pick.
is a huge.
This is the biggest pick we've had since Bledsoe.
You get this right, you could be right back contending. You get this wrong, you could be in purgatory of the lower half of the league
exactly
for a long time.
Exactly.
So this,
and I don't.
I mean, you look. Let me just give you an example.
Yeah.
What's his name? Wilson on the Jets.
Zach Wilson,
number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Look what that port pick, has resulted in.
Well, him and Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold too was very high as well.
Yeah.
That can set a franchise back for years, as we've seen with the Jets.
Right. And there's not usually an Aaron Rodgers sitting in the wings waiting to, step in for a little bit. But I guess here's the thing.
I feel that same way about Mac, the way that Adam just said.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Max, here's the thing. I feel so bad for Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid was the hardest working kid in the room. He was the first one in, the last one out. He wanted to succeed so badly. And everything was stacked against him. And I liked Fields. I said, before we drafted anybody, I wanted Fields here. He seemed like a great guy. I really, really hope that both of them are in good situations, whether it's with us or somewhere else. Yeah. Here's the thing, and to Gio's point, I've been on the Marvin Harrison camp for a while, but we have a very, very stocked receiving group in this draft.
Oh.
So you don't.
As we've seen though with the Patriots draft, and granted, Belichick won't be making the choice.
Right.
There's been drafts with stock receivers.
Yes.
I understand. The N'Keal Harry draft in particular.
Right.
Where you got guys like DK Metcalf.
Yep.
I forget some of the other guys that were.
That were all around.
I think after or maybe just before N'Keal Harry.
Yep.
You got to get it right. Too.
Right.
So. Right. And there's never a sure thing in any draft.
Right.
But I think the closest thing to a sure thing would be Harrison.
Right. Here's the argument though. Okay. So I don't know what the gap between Harrison and the number 2 receiver in the draft is. Yeah. And so I have a hard time.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying, okay, we stay at number 3. We pass on. I actually like Daniels.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying we pass over him.
Did you hear rumors recently though? He wasn't interested in New England.
That wasn't him.
That wasn't okay.
His camp said something about concern about the cold weather, and this got blown into he doesn't want to be here.
So the media just ran.
He actually came out and said, "I never said that."
Okay.
Literally, this is why Boston media drives me nuts. Because
and this is why people need to come here.
Exactly. Because he said his camp was talking about not knowing how he'd handle the cold. That's a fair statement. The kid's from Louisiana, he's playing at Louisiana. It's not all that different from Mac coming from Alabama. When they're coming from warm climates, which many of our top players are, that's a fair statement. The
cold though,
you adjust to it.
I'm almost starting to think it's a little overrated because even in these playoffs, this past season, you had that one, for example, that one game in Kansas City where it was a record cold. I mean, granted, Miami did have to go there and play, and they didn't do great, but
that was extreme.
You thought that
level
maybe
of cold was extreme.
it would really affect it, and the game seemed pretty normal, a regular game. So and Adam says this that Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely certainly will be great, but consider this: no wide receiver has ever been league MVP. That is very very interesting because. If Randy Moss broke the record in 2007 in that great year with 23 touchdown receptions, which still is the record, and he didn't win. Yes.
What level of greatness do you need to achieve?
We probably don't expect Marvin Harrison to come in and win an MVP.
Well, and
ever.
also,
but the wide receivers don't get love like that too. It's It's the QB. It's a QB league, and the QBs.
But consider this.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvin Harrison playing with an inaccurate quarterback. What are his numbers going to look like?
Well, they could look good because he may make up for some of the inaccuracy.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like take the inaccuracy as a factor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like and now let Marvin Harrison cover it.
Yeah.
I'm saying like you've got a wide receiver who's here and a quarterback who's here. Yeah. Yes. Now what happens?
I'm sure it'll hurt him a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The numbers will be down, but it also, even though the numbers might be down, it still might help him, the quarterback, as well, because he might be throwing double teams and other guys might be open. And, maybe he's not as accurate and might not get as many receptions, but he will change things.
He will change things, but if you don't have a quarterback that is going to be equivalent, then he's not the difference maker. He can't be the difference maker if your quarterback is not solid.
Yes. You have to. So you obviously, the QB is where it starts. And Gio says, take a veteran QB and draft a QB in the second, maybe McCarthy. But that's what I was thinking. The Penix would be.
They're both projecting first round now.
Okay.
This is where the problem comes in, right? So Penix is actually one of my favorites in the draft. I love the guy.
Yeah.
But his medical history is not fantastic.
Yeah.
And
looked like he was.
But his MRIs have been clear and everything. But if he's injury prone, is he worth the gamble? I mean, he's certainly not at number 3. I'm not suggesting that, but he is no longer. Neither of them, the last that I was seeing, are necessarily trending into the second round anymore. And so, if there was a sure thing, if we could take Marvin Harrison and because we have an early second round pick, if we could almost guarantee that one of the two of them would be there, I 100% would go with that. 100%.
Well, yeah.
But I just don't think that we're as guaranteed that McCarthy and Penix are actually there.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a solid read on a second or third round QB that they see as really
they may go this route. They may go, we'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. If one of those guys is there, if they actually slip to that pick, we're going to take the guy.
Yeah.
If not, if they then have another plan, a backup plan on top of that, if that doesn't happen, we're going to sign Wilson.
Right.
We're going to sign, Flacco, Cousins, whatever.
Right.
If they have a good plan in place, they can make it. They can make it work.
I actually think the Flacco scenario,
or they could trade up into the first round if they really, really want a guy like Penix. They, give up a little something extra just to move up however many picks it might be.
And the thing is,
Adam says he's probably not going to last. It does sound like his draft stock is rising, and
McCarthy's performed well, and he's McCarthy is well spoken and everything. I love the Flacco scenario as the veteran presence.
Yeah.
I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. Never have been. Kirk Cousins is.
He's one. There's no in between. You love him or you hate him.
I do not like him. Yeah. I do not want him on the team. Yeah. Also, Kirk Cousins to me is going to be more in the Russell Wilson camp where he's not going to take a back seat.
Well, the thing about Cousins is he's going to command like $40 million a year, which for Kirk Cousins,
not worth it. No. But again, he's also going to expect to play.
Yeah.
The thing about Flacco, the thing I love about the idea of Flacco is that he's a workhorse who expects to be a workhorse. He expects to fight for his spot, and he's okay with that. And he wants to start. Don't get me wrong. He's not coming in saying, okay, I'm fine riding the bench.
Yeah.
But if he was benched for a rookie, or if they went back and forth or whatever, he's not going to lose his shit and throw tantrums and make it an issue and things like that. I mean his years in the league, his Super Bowl experience.
Last year was just a big, huge revival. Because he had been, relegated to backup in New York. He didn't play much. He struggled.
But this is a guy who was MVP status.
He showed Baltimore form.
Right, exactly, in Baltimore. Exactly.
He could be somebody that,
exactly.
My
Joe Flacco memories, I don't know if I ever told you this, but when Joe Flacco was a young quarterback in Baltimore, one of the first years as a clinician, one of my clients had moved up here from Baltimore and was huge Joe Flacco fan, huge. And so we would, and he did not like talking about therapy type stuff in therapy. So we talked sports a lot, but we talked sports and tied it to, I
want to be a therapist
things.
now, sports therapist. Come, we don't have to talk about your crappy life or your wife cheating on you. Let's talk about sports, and you can pay me $100 an hour. Yes, I want to do that.
Oh, you think that we only make $100 an hour? That's funny. That's cute. That's cute. But no.
Hey, if that's a bargain, I will take $100 an hour. Come talk to me about sports, you know.
but Flacco was his guy, and he would like come in, and we'd spent hours talking about his stats and did I think that Flacco got nervous before this game, and like what do you think that he did, like do you think that he was scared when all the guys were coming at him for this? Like, I mean, the amount of hours I have spent talking about Joe Flacco with this kid who is now probably out of college. It's just like,
right, maybe you hope he runs into some personal issues so you can get some more inside info. Flacco, but like, oh my gosh. But I just, so those are like, but it's fun for me to also think about, like, that's kind of like a full circle moment for me if he ended up here. But I love the idea. There's a lot of possibilities. It's going to be really interesting.
I do like the Flacco scenario though, as our like veteran presence. I wouldn't even hate the idea if we could get Fields cheap enough of trading a lower pick, not third round, and definitely not second and third. Like a 5th, 6th round pick for Fields, and having him. We did re-sign our quarterback. That was such a high priority move for the Patriots. So who knows?
Anyways, we are up against it.
Always, we always are. You got me passionate about the Patriots. You asked me a question that.
And I just tried to play it back in the I'm not hearing it. Maybe
you guys hear the music?
But to sum it up, there's going to be some really big, important decisions coming up for not only the Patriots, for the Bruins at trade deadline, and as well for the Red Sox with what the heck they're going to do. Yes, okay.
So you can hear
track is playing our Bleepin City song. Hell yeah. We're kind of getting this show, getting it right. We've had to work out some kinks because it's been learning experience going from just radio to now video and doing the whole show with the whole setup. But I want to thank everyone in the chat. Especially my man Adam Carnett, who has that amazing 2 shows on IE Sports Network. Go there, check him out. My man Gio Made It, who is that t-shirt king. Like I said, throw me some t-shirts. I will rep them on the show. I'll advertise the shit out of them. My man Taryn Rodriguez, my ride or die dude that's been there from day one. My Lakers friend, can you believe that I said that in the same sentence? My Lakers friend, Nathaniel, for getting on here.
His Lakers did lose yesterday, so we can have this much.
Right. And everyone else, listening on the replay, and Steve, my military vet, Steven. But appreciate everyone listening today. And keep checking the Twitter, because I'll be posting some more content. I got more interviews to go through.
We've got more interviews coming up soon too.
Yes, we do. Those will be in the works. Bledsoe interview actually has been a huge hit on YouTube. But thank you, you Swizzle. Another great episode, another great week. Thank you to everyone out there listening. And tune in at 10 on PSF. Yes, we will be on tonight doing the Celtics Media Cast on PSF. If you want to stay up late, you're on the West Coast, check us out. If not, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Night.